Hey, I'm Craig Garber from kingofcopy.com. I'm the author of How to Make Maximum Money with Minimum Customers, and let's get into this week's Q&A session. If you have any questions, send them in to me at kingofcopy.com/ask, and we'll answer them in a future week's issue. Okay, so the first question comes from Tony. I formatted my flyer to what I know to be the correct way to promote my service. In reverse pyramid with a strong heading, subheading, then details, then with a call to action. I'm just not convinced it's as strong as it could be. A real good flyer could help me with my business taking off. Any suggestions? Well, a real good flyer could help anyone, Tony, right? Anyway, so here's the deal. You need to focus on content, not formatting, and maybe that's what you mean, but I didn't see anything about, okay, strong heading, subheading, details with a call to action. I'm not convinced it's as strong as it could be. Well, maybe it is as strong as it could be. You got to test it. A lot of people, it's the fear factor, analysis paralysis. Test it, put it out there, see how it goes. Or better yet, test two different messages with two different headlines, or the same headlines and two different calls to action. And that's how you could tell, that's the only way you could tell whether or not something works or not. And but always focus on content, not formatting. And I think that's what you've meant to say, but I just want to clarify that in case you didn't. Next question. Yeah, so basically my suggestion is test it, mail the thing, or put it out or online, or wherever your mechanism of distribution is. Okay, I'm an agent. This is from Erin. I'm an agent who has a list of 400 prospects that opted into a squeeze page I posted on Craigslist in the last few months. The prospect gets weekly REOs list. That's real estate owned by banks, for those of you that aren't familiar with the real estate space. Weekly articles and price reductions alerts, but they're not responding. So now I'm wondering if I'm not a good converter, or maybe they're not good leads. I tried the expert angle, the special positioning, hunter among agents, and I'm working on becoming more attractive. Maybe, let me tell you, I'll tell you right now, attraction has nothing to do with it. Just look at me. I got a face for radio, so don't worry about how attractive you are. Maybe I didn't try enough urgency or scarcity. I have no idea what to do. How do agents convert leads these days? Okay, first of all, there's a couple of things. You're not a good converter, or maybe they're not good leads. I'm sure it's a combination of both. You got to realize the quality. I know I've heard people that have gotten leads on Craigslist, but the quality of the leads on Craigslist is much lower than the quality of leads you're going to get on other paid-for traffic sources. I've never met a successful person. When I say successful, long-term continuum of success with a process, that the process started with leads from Craigslist. Now, I'm not pretending to have met every successful consulting client in the world, but I haven't met any of the 300 plus I've worked with that have done that, okay? So the thing is, the more effort people put into becoming part of your world, your list, your correspondence, the better qualified the lead is. Someone posting something on Craigslist, anybody who's trolling Craigslist during the day, that's like, nothing against eBay, but a step below the people that are trolling eBay. They got a lot of time on their hands, nothing to do, and the amount of effort they're willing to put into creating something, doing something, finding something is pretty minimal. It's like, staying home and watching Netflix all day for free as a bootleg station because you don't want to pay cable. The problem is your quality of your leads. Remember, the source of your leads will always determine the quality of your prospects, and this is just not a very good source. I don't know if you're a good converter or not. I mean, you're putting out consistent message. You tried the expert angle. See, the thing is, you're either an expert or you're not. If you're trying an angle, people generally sense that you're trying an angle and you're not an expert. So you got to be careful. You got to be sincere, not duplicitous, and because that's pretty transparent to people. Positioning, hunter among agents. You're doing things. You're positioning yourself in a room full of kindergarten students. It's wasted effort, which is my analogy of like the Craigslist quality leads. So I'd really focus on spending money on leads. You're going to get better quality leads, and you'll convert them. Or be more direct. Get the information to them faster. Try that too. Maybe try those Craigslist leads, but don't worry about this long funnel positioning. They're on Craigslist. Give them a message right away. You want to buy this house or not? End of conversation. So that might be another idea for you. Okay. Craig, I've been asked to help a company, this is from Mark, develop a lead generation direct mail program utilizing direct response methods that I got out of your book. My question is the credibility and track record of someone who does not have an extensive case studies file of my own. Okay, so this is a person who's just starting out and they got lucky, they got a gig as a consultant. I have plenty of outstanding case studies from other people, including yourself, that I've gone through, but none on my own. Okay. Question, is a credibility factor when starting out teaching direct response to others, or should I just stop worrying? Stop worrying. Look, if you got a gig already, you got a job, someone wants to hire you, you don't need to have credibility. They've already hired you, so there's no, you managed to impress them enough with whatever knowledge base you have that credibility wasn't an issue. So what I would do is work my ass off on this particular client and get some good successful results. Now, boom, you got a case study. You got credibility for the next one. And don't worry about it. We're all learning along the way, and focus on the strengths and the things that you're good at doing. And you'll attract those clients or those prospects that want those particular characteristics that you possess and those strengths of skill sets. All right, Mike he's got a pool company, it looks like. What's the top 5 ways to position yourself as an expert? Okay, so first let me tell you, you don't need 5 ways. It's like saying, what are the top 5 best sex positions? If you get like 1 or 2 consistently, you're going to have a freaking incredible sex life. As far as positioning, if you get 1 or 2 and maybe a 3rd one consistently, you're going to be a very successful person. So I'm going to give you 3, and they're what I call the triangle of positioning. And they're basically knowledge, credibility, and believability. And I talk about these in my book. So knowledge is just your ability to be perceived as an expert, and you do that by having constant ongoing communication. If you have a pool service, I'd put out a little small postcard once a month, direct mail, with a new tidbit related to pools, related to swimming, related to curb appeal of your property and your pool, and safety, things along those lines, fencing, anything that your customers typically are interested in. Pool maintenance, stuff like that. I'd also have a weekly message at least once a week going out there with the same similar type information. So that nails down the knowledge end of the triangle. Credibility and believability. Credibility is your experience. Are you credible? And you show credibility by showing that you have experience, and that's by real easy. Talk about or share photos and case studies of pools and situations, installations, and kind of work or whatever industry you're in that you've done. Okay, so that's credibility. And also having some testimonials and client experiences, that gives you credibility. In other words, that allows people to perceive that you have the right to be discussing this. And the third part of the triangle is believability. And are people going to believe you what you're saying just as a person? And that has to do with how you're saying things and your actual character itself. Okay, so, and also the claims you make. So your claims any claims you're making have to be backed up, and then you back it up with the credibility side. This is like the emotional angle, whereas believability is emotional. Do they feel good about you? They get the warm and fuzzies. Credibility is the logical, and often you can back up the believability and rationalize it with the credibility, the logic. Okay, but you got to have all 3 components. So knowledge, credibility, and believability. That's the triangle positioning. So you don't need 5 ways to position yourself. You don't need 5 great positions to have sex. You just need 2 or 3 really good ones that work. All righty, that's it for this week. If you have any questions, send them in to me at kingofcopy.com/ask, and I will be happy to answer them in a future edition. Take care. Have a great week.